I can't be the only regular American that's really starting to get really tired of the elites in this country, especially the political elites. And look, this means the right and the left, treating the regular Americans like we're just cattle or something, or just pieces on a chessboard to move around for their purpose. I'm really getting aggravated about it, and I bet I'm not the only one. And the reason why I'm a little bit, kind of juiced up today is because of something that we saw just last night, which is unfortunately a continuing pattern. But, well, take a look for yourself.
Sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump. When do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members. The base of the Republican Party, for whatever combination of reasons, and it is emotional and psychological, sees in him someone who speaks for them. Because for whatever reason, he and his very negative, nasty form of politics resonates with them.
For whatever reason? These negative comments, let me define that for you. Let me translate a little bit into regular Americanese. Anyone who disagrees with me is an extreme person and needs to be deprogrammed. What kind of nonsense is that? You see, she's literally doesn't get it. She's just saying, for whatever reason. Well, look, there are very specific reasons why. And one of the key ones is how you're treating us. And we've been, unfortunately, talking about this for a long time. And in fact, this just to show you how long this particular attitude has been going on, let's take a look at something that happened back in September of 2016.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that. And he has lifted them up.
Yeah, he lifted them up. Look, I'll just point blank say there's a lot of things about Donald Trump that I don't like and didn't like back then. But she is right in that one area where he did speak for a lot of regular people. And it's one of the reasons why I'll just go and say it. In 2016, I did vote for him over her. And that was one of the big reasons. And it's like, many people have correctly assessed that possibly one of the main reasons she lost that election was because of this attitude that was embodied in this statement, just declaring everybody that she doesn't like as deplorables. Like she was trying to be president of the United States of America, and she's telling half the country that I don't care anything about you and that you're gone. And now she's expanded on that and saying that, look, 80 million people, more than 80 million voted for Trump in 2020. And now she's saying that they need to be deprogrammed. And sure, she'll say, well, it's not all the Republican Party, just the ones who don't agree with me. Like she actually lauded in a separate interview the Republicans that voted with McCarthy to get the continuing resolution passed that was done in coordination with many of the Democrats. Now she's saying those Republicans are fine, but all the ones who don't agree with her are fringe elements and a danger to the country and need to be reprogrammed. No, I don't need to be reprogrammed. My programming is quite fine, and so is yours. You don't need to be reprogrammed. Look, what about freedom of speech? What about freedom that we have in this country? Freedom of thought, where you can have your own views. If your views are your own, and if they don't, harm somebody else or impinge on the rights of somebody else, that's what this whole country is about. Our Constitution is centered on you matter, you have freedom. You can say what you want. You have freedom of speech. You have freedom of thought. You can come up with your own ideas, and nobody can take that away from you unless you're an elite and you want to say, look, here's the only very narrow band of allowable thoughts. And if you don't fall in this band, then I'm afraid you're going to have to be deprogrammed. Now, she's just talking euphemistically at the moment, but you don't have to carry this too many more steps to where people may start to actually take action on that. And I'm just here to tell you, and I'll say the same thing if anybody on the right tries to, tell other groups of Americans that they don't count either, because everybody counts. That means people I don't agree with, they count too, and they are just as right to their views as I am to mine and as you are to yours. Nobody can take that away from you. And I'm not just going to sit silently and just be passive and let this kind of thing go without being called out. Now, I'm not a big famous person, certainly not like, Hillary Clinton, where she's got millions of people that'll follow everything she says. But I can tell you, for you and on this very channel, one of the reasons we exist is because we're going to call out the truth of things. So we're going to give you this, deep dive is in our name to see what's under the surface. And this is one of the things under the surface of that CNN segment that certainly they weren't talking about on CNN, but you're going to get here because we care about you and we want to make sure your voice gets heard and does not get silenced or reprogrammed. And that is your deep dive for today. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.